right, so now we're going to move into toe holds from various leg positions. And just a little intro. I talked about this a lot before, but just a little intro into toe holds. What?
There's nothing.
You okay? As I said before, toe holds will come on a lot faster than heel hooks, okay? Because you're doing it with your hands. Your hands move a lot faster than your body. So the toe hold will come on before the heel hook, but you run into it in the issue where mechanically it's not as strong as breaking as a heel hook. So toe hold, the pressure will come on faster, but it won't be mechanically as strong as heel hooks. So if we're in a shootout, okay? If we're in a shootout, for example, and we're both in a mutual ashi, if I have a toe hold and she has a heel hook, if we both stay in this position, she will end up having a stronger break. So if we're both willing to take a break from here, I'm the one who's going to get catastrophically broken a lot worse than her. But any rational person will say, oh man, my foot's going to break. Let me move from here. So as we both go to apply pressure, the toe hold pressure comes on so much faster, and it forces her into a defensive role where now we can go in and we can switch into cross ashi, into knee bars, into heel hooks, into whatever we want from here. So whenever you're in a shootout, I always recommend using a toe hold to get the initial reaction and then transfer into your offense off of that. Okay, and there are many different ways that we can use toe holds to get a reaction out of our partner. We can transfer from toe holds to heel hooks. There's a variety of different things that we can do initially using toe holds to benefit us and to get reactions sooner than we wanted to, or sooner than we would be able to if we were just using heel hooks. All right, so now let's look at exposing toe holds in a belly down manner when we're in outside ashi. Okay, and understand that the exposure for toe holds and for heel hooks are the same for belly down or for going belly down in outside ashi and arimi ashi garami. I generally don't use toe holds in arimi ashi garami unless there's some kind of rules prohibiting it, like an IBJJF tournament or something. If you're a purple belt or whatever, I think heel hooks are illegal, but toe holds are allowed. But in arimi ashi garami, you can usually always expose heel hooks on your partner. Whereas in outside ashi-garami, it's much harder to expose heels because you don't have control of one of your partner's legs and hips. So toe holds become a relevant thing here to either start with the toe hold and then finish with the toe hold, or start with the toe hold and then as your partner goes to roll or defend, you switch off to a heel hook. Okay, so my partner has her heel in and she's tucked in like so. It's a pretty hard thing for me now to go and start exposing my partner's heel a lot of the times. So whenever I see this, we just come up and we just physically grab the long end of the lever on my partner's toe. So when we grab in, we lock over the ball of our partner's feet and we cover the toes with our hands, like so. And I'll just grab anywhere on the foot. I grab at the long end of the lever so that my thumb here, the ball of my thumb, connects and covers the ball of my partner's big toe here. Okay? That's what I'm looking for. So I scissor my legs as we did before. We get on, we catch. We look to start exposing our partner's foot like so. Once we expose our partner's foot, we put the foot flat on the floor here. So now my partner goes to extend the leg. It's not going to be an easy thing. Whenever she goes to extend, the toes will get caught and the heel will start to come out. So she won't be able to extend her leg without breaking her own foot. So I look to go belly down, and I'm not going into a topo shira position. We'll cover that later and we'll go into toe holds from there. But just exposing from a belly down position, she goes to tuck everything in. We expose my partner's toes like so. Now from here, we put the heel down on the floor, we put our elbow down on the floor, and we switch from a false grip to the hand comes through. When she goes to extend from here, it's not going to be easy, especially when we go back and we lock up our legs behind our partner's hips. Now, when I take my right elbow through, my right hand through, I want to get my right elbow, the crease of my right elbow, as close to my partner's Achilles as possible. I don't want to be locked up here to the high end of the lever. I want to go in and I want to reach. I want to overextend and get my hand as deep as possible. The way I do this is by taking my head outside my partner's heel. If I try to reach through from here, you see it's hard, even with long hands. So I take my head and I bring it outside my partner's foot. Here. And now from here, we lock up. The closer my hand is to my own wrist, the closer my hand is to my own hand, the tighter the lock's going to be. The closer my elbow is to my partner's Achilles, the tighter the lock will be. And the further my hand is down the end of the lever, the tighter the lock will be. So that from here, when we reach through, we have an incredibly strong toe hold. And now from here, we can dig. We can get a nice strong bite on my partner's leg. When she goes to extend, it's just not going to happen from here. And now from here, we're ready to go into our breaks with our finishes, with the finishing mechanics, which we'll look at in a minute. Okay? So going into a belly down exposure, I can't get the heel hook grip for whatever reason. So from here, we go belly down. She tucks the foot in, we catch. Right from here, I don't want to lose the leg. I don't want to go here and posture up, and then she slides the knee out. So I catch. I have the false grip. I'm covering my partner's leg with my chest. So when she goes to slide the knee free, it's not going to happen. I fall down like so. We go and we relock our legs. When she goes to extend, it's not going to happen. I go from false grip. I take my head and my chin outside my partner's heel. That gives me a deep bite. Now from here, I close the elbows together. This joins my hands. We lock up. And now from here, we're ready to go in and get incredibly strong finishes with a proper toe hold from outside Ashigarami. All right, so now let's look at exposing toe holds against someone who's resisting, and maybe belly down is not a great option, so we're gonna look to go belly up. Whatever I see, and from here I can't expose my partner's, expose the toe hold, or maybe we're not belly down, maybe we're more in a belly up position, she's trying to come forward towards me, I have to make space, whatever the case is. We're gonna use that same shoveling motion, same mechanics as far as the Ashigarami goes, as we did with the outside heel hook. So we're gonna shovel our feet under, or our hips underneath, whether it be with 2 feet posted, whether it be with a post ashi, doesn't make a difference. Anything that gets us into a situation where now our hips are underneath our partner's hips like so, and from here we can go in, we can catch a grip here on our partner's toes. From this position, I start pushing the toes down into a bent position. Now the problem is, at some point I have to sit up, okay? It's gonna be hard for me if I sit up and I stay square, my shoulders stay square to the floor, to actually lock the grip. It's not gonna happen. So I start in a belly up fashion, like so. Now you have 2 choices. Number 1 is I can either sit up, and I can use a pendulum to sit up, and I can use that, and I can move back into that belly down position, where now from here, we can reach over, and we can go and we can catch our partner, and we can go in for a finish, okay? So we can go in, start initially belly up, so we're trying to go belly down, we can't do it. We start belly up, we expose our partner's foot like so. Now from here, we hit a quick sit up, and then we scoot back belly down, and we expose our partner's foot like so. So for whatever reason, if I can't expose it, belly down, or maybe we're just sitting in a belly up position, and I have to make space, you can start belly up and then transition belly down. Another great option you have is from here, we start belly up. We actually start putting pressure with a one-handed toe hold. Where from here, I can physically start pushing my partner's toes down to the butt, and that gets good pressure. If you want to, you can switch to a grip on your partner's heel. So you have that coupled force of pushing the toes down and pulling the heel up. And now as your partner goes into a defensive roll, you can pull the foot towards you and lock up into a full toe hold, where now you can go in and you can finish your partner in the same fashion, belly up, locking that full figure of 4, or following your partner through and rolling into an outside ashi and finishing later, okay? So you can start, instead of going belly up, back to belly down, you can stay belly up and you can force your partner into a defensive roll and then catch the full toe hold later. So we can go in here, start with the false grip, we can start pushing the foot down. If my partner stays in this position, it comes on and you can get strong breaks here, okay? If my partner stays in this position and I feel like I can't get a break, the second you start pulling the heel, and if she doesn't do anything from here, they'll get strong finishes. So as she goes to start extending, she's going to try to extend naturally to take pressure off. And from here, we go in and we lock up. And now from here, we can get incredibly strong finishes with the toe hold from outside Ashigarami in a belly up position. All right, so now that we have our hands properly placed, we're at the long end of the lever, we have the ability to set our hands properly. Let's look at the actual finishing mechanics now for a belly down finish. Very similar to a heel hook. So everything but the lower body is going to be the same. We have that strong back heel. We have a strong pinch of our knees, like so. And now the whole thing from here is going to be, again, toes to butt, heel to chin, okay? I need a couple force of pushing her toes down towards her butt while also simultaneously pulling her heel up to my chin. The higher the hands are, the tighter the lock's going to be. The lower the chin is, the tighter the lock's going to be. Almost exactly the same as a heel hook. I'm just, instead of doing it with my body, with the foot being connected, I'm doing it with my hands instead. So I reach through, we have a good bend, we get all the way through, and we lock up. Right from here, it's just a crunching of the toes down to the butt and a pulling of the heel up to the chin. So I can finish in this position. This is a belly down finish. This is a belly up finish. I'm going for a belly down finish. I finish right here at my elbows, like so. I roll the wrist forward. That gives me additional pressure and takes the tension and puts tension running through my partner's foot. It takes the slack out of the joint. I roll the wrist forward. Now from here, back heel, 1, pinch the knees, 2. Toes to butt, 3. I lift my heel, my partner's heel, my elbow, 4. And now from here, as I continue to take the toes to the butt, I continue to pull the heel to my chin. My hips come forward.
Just kidding.
And that gives you your strong break. I knew it didn't hear a pop, and I knew it wasn't tight enough. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm just kidding. I was making 2 flips before, like, I'm going to do it.
And that gives you your strong break from outside Ashigarami with a strong toe hold. Okay, so after that catastrophe, we'll go into belly up mechanics. I knew that there wasn't a pop, and I knew I can put you on breaking point with that. I know how far people can go in each submission before you actually break. But I was like, I don't know, maybe some freak accident. Maybe she actually got hurt. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait, this is her fault. She just should have tapped. Like, this wasn't my fault. I'm like, what an idiot. But that's good. So now we're going to belly up mechanics. So a lot of times, just like heel hooks, you initially lock either belly down or belly up. I mean, if it's belly down, your partner tries to go into a rolling escape, and you end up belly up. So whenever I see this, we lock an initial belly down toe hold. So however we do it, we go in, we lock up this belly down toe hold, and from here, we're going in and we're looking to go in and start breaking our partner, okay? Whenever I see this, my partner goes to start rolling belly up. Same thing with the legs. I lock a full figure 4 like so. I want that nice deep bite with my elbow. Elbows come together, and now we're ready to go in and break. I want to bend in my partner's leg. And now from here, same mechanics of splaying the knees, hips coming forward, and now the toes come to the butt as the heel comes to the chin. Just this means nothing. The leg doesn't have to be bent in order to break your partner in a toe hold. All I need is that shearing force of toes down, heel up. Even if the leg is fully straight, you can still get strong breaks in your partner from here, okay? And in addition to this, if your partner straightens the leg, like so, and she ends up here, you can go into, not a heel knee bar, but you can go into a knee bar with a toe hold grip. So if your partner tries to turn back where she came from, she gets broken in the toe hold. And then from here, the hips come forward, and you can start going in and finishing with a knee bar. It's not going to be as robust as a heel knee bar, because the foot's a little bit further away from your body. In a heel knee bar, you have a much better connection of the full leg to your body, whereas in a toe hold, you see there's not as much connection here. That means your hips have to drive much further forward to actually finish the knee bar, but you can do it, okay? And then, of course, if your partner rolls all the way through, then you can make a transition to cross-ashi, to cross-ashi, whatever you want from there, okay? So, almost same mechanics, except for your hands are doing the finishing, not your body, all right? In addition, come back up, the leg finish, or the mechanics of the legs are the same. With a belly up heel hook, with a palm-to-palm grip, you're opening your partner's leg out in this direction, okay? So the mechanics of the lower body are almost the same. The mechanics of the upper body, again, this is with a wrist or a palm-to-palm grip on the heel hook, with different grips at different finishing mechanics. We'll go into that later. But with the toe hold, we have the same lower body position, but this time, instead of opening the leg up into a straightened position, you're taking the toes down to the butt. So legs up, and from here, as my partner's toes come down to the butt, the heel comes up to the chin, and then again, I'm pointing my knees out to the left so my partner has a hard time rolling. And now from here, instead of opening the leg with the heel hook, we're bending the leg with the toe hold. And it's this, in combination with the elbow rising, which gives you strong finishes for the belly up toe holds. Okay, so same lower body mechanics, but different upper body mechanics with the belly down or with the belly up toe hold finish relative to the heel hook. Okay, so this is a very common, this goes along with strategy, and you find it very common with leg lockers, where good leg lockers know the toe hold will get pressure first. Okay, so if you're in a shootout and you're both going for leg locks, I know that if I put a toe hold on it, you're going to get breaking pressure before heel hook will. But it's not going to be as strong mechanically to actually break your partner's leg as a heel hook would be. So a very smart thing for you to do would be start with a toe hold, and then as your partner goes into a defensive roll, finish with the heel hook. That way you get breaking pressure first and the strongest possible breaking pressure by transitioning to a heel hook. This is a very, starting to get advanced now, and it's a very smart thing for you to do. So a lot of times, whether we're belly down, and we expose a toe hold on our partner, from here, I start going with the toe hold, she goes into a defensive roll. As she goes into a defensive roll, we just go in, and we use that same cowboy drill. As she's rolling, we just make a switch. We pull our partner's foot in, and then we just use that same cowboy drill to stuff our partner's toes down towards our armpit, and we just make a switch right into a heel hook. And right from here, we go in, we lock up, and now we're ready to finish. Okay? So whenever I see I have a toe hold from various different scenarios, from here my partner goes to roll. As she goes to roll, go back, go slow. As she goes to start rolling, we just hug our partner's foot like so. And then from here, we just go in and we catch the toes, and then we move into heel hook. And then usually, as you're locking, you're not really focused on the lower body and your partner's rolling fast. So a lot of times you'll have to roll through a second, like another time, and to move into outside ashi instead of just staying belly up, but you'll have a heel hook grip. So most of the time what it'll look like is we go in, we lock a toe hold, whether it's belly down like we just did, or whether it's belly up. We lock an initial toe hold. That gets the reaction. She goes to roll, we make a switch. And now from here, she continues that roll. We roll all the way through. We land an outside ashi, and now we're ready to go in and break with a heel hook. So we get a quick reaction, quick breaking pressure off the toe hold, and we finish with a strong mechanical break on the heel hook. Maybe I can't expose belly down, whatever the case is. Maybe we're in a shootout here, and I have to get pressure on. We go in, we lock up a toe hold. We start putting pressure. She goes to roll through. We land back in outside ashi. We switch from a toe hold to a heel hook, and then we're ready to go in, break our partner, and get a nice strong win with toe hold to heel hook conversion. All right, so now from outside ashi garami, we've looked at breaking mechanics, looked at Achilles locks, toe holds, heel knee bars. Now let's look at how to recapture someone's knee when you feel like you're losing them, when they go to spin out and you lose your partner's knee from within your knee line. Okay? So, many times I go for a heel hook, whether it's here, whatever the case is, my partner's knee slips out and into this position here. Okay? Many times what you'll see is either one, they just try to move out and away quickly, or number two, the knee comes out and then they post their opposite leg far out in the mat and they push back into you. And then put your knee on the floor. And they push back into you here, and that you kind of end up in this position. Okay? Whenever I see I lose my partner's knee, usually it's because I don't have an Achilles grip. If I have an Achilles grip and my partner's knee comes free, you can easily just pull your partner back in and lock up. Okay? But usually I'm going for a heel hook. I lose the knee. Whenever I see this, I just catch a false grip. I see gymnasts use these a lot in the rings. I just catch a false grip and I just control my partner's leg right here like so. Okay? So I'm going for a heel hook. the control initially was good. I'm going for heel hook. Maybe I get a little overzealous, and I lose my partner's knee. Whenever I see this, and my partner's knee moves out and away. Whenever I see this, and the knee comes down to the floor. Whenever I'm in an outside ashigurami, I have to find a way to climb back up my partner's leg. And because the leg is so far away from me, it's hard to lock an Achilles grip. Okay, so I move back. So I go for a heel hook. She goes to start spinning out, and for whatever reason, her knee comes free. Whenever I see this, just initially, I take my leg and I move out into this kind of calf slicer scenario here. Where from here, I can put weight over my partner's leg. So when she goes to straighten the leg and pull her leg free, it's not going to be quite as easy. Okay? Now from here, I use this false grip to create friction between my partner's leg and mine. And what I'm going to initially look to do from here is I'm going to look to start going in, and I reach under my partner's knee like so. So I just grab my partner's leg. And now from here, I just quickly pull my partner's knee back to the inside. Okay? I can do this from the outside. I can initially catch my partner's knee. When she goes to explode away from me, I have a wedge in front of the knee, and it's harder. And then from there, as she goes to kick out, once the knee's off the floor, I can pull everything back in, like so. Or from here, we can reach through on the inside and put a wedge in front like so. So my partner goes to pull out and away, I have that wedge once again, and we can just pull our partner back in, and we can make that connection once again. We can either relock a heel hook or get switched back to an Achilles grip. Okay, so if we rotate, you guys can see the position. She goes to start spinning out, and for whatever reason, we lose our partner's knee. Right from here, we take a false grip and we just connect her shin to our body. So now when she goes to pull herself out and away, I have a strong, sticky grip. So I have this behind her knee, so she can't just straighten the leg, and I can pull my own knee to my chest. So now I have proper wedging. When she goes to pull herself away, it's not going to be impossible, but it's going to be hard. Okay? And now I have the choice of either going outside my knee, like so, which will be faster, but it won't be as robust because you won't be able to pull your partner's knee in as much, but it'll be faster to get to. So if you feel like you're losing the leg, she goes to pull herself away, I just put an initial wedge in front of my partner's knee. And now from here, as she goes to pull, I use the recoil to pull her back in. Or you can go through, they can reach through. This takes longer to actually reach through here, but it's more robust. Because now when she goes to pull away, I can really pull the knee back in towards me. And that gives me what I need to go in and lock up and go in for my heel hooks. But just reclimbing the knee as I lose my partner's knee. With an Achilles grip, it's a pretty easy thing. You just lock an Achilles, you extend your body, you open up the knees, and you climb back up the leg. But many times from here, the knee comes out and you find yourself in a situation like so. So I initially hold on. Now I have the choice. One, where now from here, we can climb up. So I hold my partner's leg in place, and now I just extend my body. I use a little bit of a push with my, or a little bit of pull with my right hand. As she goes to pull that knee free, I just open up my knees and I climb. And I thrust my hips forward, and we get that bite once again. If we go through the legs, then it's a climb, but it's also a pull with my right hand. I'm pulling my knee back, my partner's knee back towards me. So when she goes to pull out and away, I pull myself in and I thrust my hips forward, and now we lock up and we're back in business, ready to start attacking again. All right, so now we lost our partner's knee, and we're going to use a calf slice to start transitioning to other, either going into our partner's back or switching to the other leg, whatever the case is. Unless your partner's a complete idiot, it's going to be pretty hard to actually finish a calf slicer on your partner from this position because everyone knows it's coming. It's a very low percentage, so that's why I'm not going to teach it. But you can finish a calf slicer if your partner just doesn't react at all. But more than likely what's going to happen is your partner goes to make a defensive roll, and for whatever reason, you end up losing your partner's knee. We end up in this position here, okay? Whenever I see this, the first thing I'm going to look to do is I'm going to look to control my partner's knee. I'm going to try to recline my partner's leg like we just looked at, okay? Her leg is going to be up one way or the other, whether she's pushing back into me or whether she's trying to pull away. She won't be on two knees from here, okay? Now, right from here, I'm going to use my opposite leg, and I'm going to pendulum up to my elbow, and I'm going to go from heel and ankle to far hip, like so. Now, my personal favorite is just to make a switch where I move to my partner's back. The only thing between me and my partner's back right now is the fact that she has her leg in front of my hips. So all I look to do is I extend my right leg and I move back and away. Now it's the easiest thing in the world to move from my elbow to my hand to build up behind my partner. And now you're on your partner's back, ready to go in and attack from the turtle position. Okay, so my personal favorite is to switch off to my partner's back. Where from here, we get in close, we stop the initial explosion away so we have connection to our partner still. And then from here, we just pendulum up and we get to the far hip. Now when she goes to explode away, this hip keeps me locked in. I build to a hand, and now just quickly move away to clear the foot, and then I heist to start attacking turtle position. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, let's say short time, I'm not gonna have enough time to go into attack to my partner's back, or whatever reason, I don't want to attack my partner's back, I want to stay in the legs. From here, we pendulum up. This time, instead of pulling my foot back towards me and using it to heist, I tuck my leg in on the other side like so. So I tuck my foot, not behind me, looking for power, I fold it underneath my partner's hips. And then from here, I move from hand and hip to ankle and knee. So that now, as I move myself away and I clear my partner's foot, it's the easiest thing in the world to reach over my partner's ankle. And now, right from here, we can go in. We can put a foot behind our partner's far hamstring. And now, as she goes to start moving around, we can fire our legs over. We can go into cross hashi on the opposite leg. Now we can go into attacks following up on cross hashigurami on our partner's opposite side leg. In case we can switch from a failed outside hashigurami into a cross hashi on the far leg. So we have this calf slicing position, where from here, we look to pendulum up. We get to our partner's hip. Now instead of coming to the back, you move up to the hand. Right from here, we just fold our leg in like so. Okay? As we fold our leg in, we release the hip, we come off the floor, and we go from hip and floor to ankle and knee. Now, it's going to be hard for my partner from here to sit into attacks on my legs, okay, because of the fact that her leg is trapped. When she goes to move and she starts going into attacks on me, I'm not going to say she can't do it, but it's going to be hard for her to start falling to a hip. I can always use my legs to entangle and to take her legs out of the way, okay, because of the calf slicer grip. So she can lock toe holds and stuff, but there's no ashigurami. So at any point, if I want to eject, I can always use my foot to eject. The problem is that when I clear this foot, now I still have the inside foot position, but my partner can start pommeling legs from here. She can move this leg around, she can insert her legs, and she can start giving me problems from here. So the second I eject, I immediately pull my foot in, and I place it right behind my partner's knee like so. So when she goes to pommel into my legs now, she can't. Because I still have the inside foot position, if she tries to attack my opposite foot from here, I have the inside foot position, so I can always eject. But if my partner pommels her foot to the inside, for example, and now her knee comes to the inside, and now she can start she can start pommeling in her legs, and things can get hairy from there. So the second I move from this position to this position, I move back and away, and as I back away from my partner, my foot comes in behind. Now I cover my partner's ankle. I cover my partner's ankle with my elbow. So if she tries to explode away from here, she can't. In addition, if she tries to build to her feet from here, it's hard because of that shin behind her knee. And now we just fire our leg over. We move down to our shoulder. We move down to our forehead. And now we're in cross hashi, ready to roll through and attack our partner's legs on the opposite side leg. Okay, so using a calf slicer to switch off to attack my partner's back or to attack cross hashi on the opposite leg. Okay, so now we finished with outside hashigurami. We looked at heel hooks, heel knee bars, toe holds, Achilles locks. We looked at what do I do if my partner frees the knee, belly up exposure, belly down exposure. We went through all of outside hashi. Now let's look at starting to go into tapo shiro, where we can either use tapo shiro to expose our partner's feet once again, or start spinning the legs and going into knee bars and heel hooks from cross hashigurami. So tapo shiro just means top rear facing. Okay, so whenever I feel like I can't expose my partner's feet from an outside ashi, I'm going belly down and I can't do it. Instead of just scissoring my legs, I move to a full shiro position here, where I move into a situation where it looks like my back is exposed, but I have control over my partner's leg. So when she goes to move towards my back, it's just not going to happen from here. And now from here, I can start going in. I can either stay in this position, or I can start sitting back into my partner's chest, where now from here I can start spinning the legs. There's less degree of back exposure, and we can start going into attacks on our partner from here. Okay, so this tapo shiro position will be very prominent when you feel like you are dealing with a talented partner, an opponent who won't allow you to expose their heels from an outside ashi. So instead of them putting weight on you by coming forward, you sit them down from a tapo shiro, put weight on them, and then you can choose what you want to do next as far as, do you want to sweep them, do you want to spin the leg, or do you want to go back to outside ashi after you expose their legs? All right, so how do we actually move to a tapo shiro? There's a very specific way we can do this, because if we don't do it correctly, we're going to get our back taken. Understand that when I go to move to tapo shiro, your partner will always see back exposure. My whole back's right in front of her, so she wants to take my back. It's always going to be a battle for your partner's knee relative to your knee line. If she can invert her knee and take her knee from within your knee line, now your back's exposed. Okay? So the second I go to start inverting into this Oshiro position, I want to have a nice fall strip like so in my partner. And if I can, I want to have my partner's leg wedged between my chest and my own leg. Okay, I want as much wedging around my partner's leg as possible. So from here, I'll have a fall strip in place. I'll have my forearm connected to my partner's thigh. I'll have my elbow connected to my partner's ankle. So even without my legs locked, without a back heel, when she goes to pull her knee free and invert it, it's not going to be easy. And now from here, I'm going to move from the leg scissoring position. I'm going to heist up into this position. The key ingredient here, because now it's less wedging, because I'm fully belly down. The key thing I need from here is my right leg to wedge my partner's right knee in place. The further my right knee is out like so, the easier it is for her to invert that knee and take my back. So the second I come up, I immediately wedge my partner's right knee in place. So now from here, when she goes to invert the knee, it's not going to happen. And now, once I'm in this position, I can take her foot, and I can put her leg between my two arms. And I can bar it, where I go in and I physically catch my own thigh. Physically catch my own thigh on this side. And now I can lift my partner's knee. I can create even further wedging with my leg. When she goes to pull her leg out from here, it's going to be increasingly difficult as the wedging gets tighter and tighter. And now from here, you have a choice. You can sit back on your partner, or now I can step my outside leg up, like so. Because I have this wedge with my arm when she goes to invert her knee here, it's going to be hard. I can start sitting back onto my partner, like so. Or you can go in and you can start going back into attacks on toe holds, heel hooks, everything there. And depending on what your partner does with their legs, if they open them, if they close them, if they figure four, you have different options. Okay, but just moving into a tapo shiro position, most important thing is wedging your partner's leg in place so she can't clear her knee from within your knee line. And if at any point you're in a tapo shiro position and you feel compromised, just switch to an Achilles grip. That'll keep you safe. Okay? So we go from a leg scissor like so. Now I want to start heisting up. The second I heist, she goes to pull her knee out the whole time. We wedge that knee in place. Again, she's trying to heist. She's trying to do all those things everyone likes to do. We bar it. Now she goes to pull her leg out. It's just not going to happen. If you feel the knee slipping, I just put an Achilles grip in. She goes to pull the knee out, take my back. You can always just fall back down to an outside ashi. It's not a big deal. Now from here, as I go to build up, I start sitting back on her. She goes to pull the knee out, start heisting. And now from here, we're ready to go. Either spinning the leg, or if we want to, we can always stay back down here and then go back into our attacks. All right, so now let's look at exposing our partner's foot to a heel hook or a toe hold from this tapo shiro position. Now our partner has many different things they can do with their legs, and if they cross them, we'll do something different with double trouble. But let's assume for now our partner's legs are open, and we are in this tapo shiro position like so. Okay. From here, once I get to this tapo shiro position, if I see my partner's leg is extended out like this in some degree, from here we go and we just catch over our partner's toes like before, and now we just place a toe hold in place. And now we can easily fall back to an outside ashigarami, and we can go in for finishes with a toe hold on our partner. Okay, so the further my partner's leg is extended, the more inclined I am to go for a toe hold. The more my partner's leg is in towards me, and she's looking to start pulling her leg out and away. Usually from here, she won't have the leg extended out like this. What she'll be trying to do is she'll be trying to pull the heel in so that she can invert the knee and expose my back. So from here, I can go for a toe hold. I can grab my partner's toes, I can fall back down, and I can extend. And I can go into for a finish here. But the further my partner's heel is closer to me, the more my partner's heel is closer to me, the easier it is to go for a heel hook. Because I'm in a no shiro position, she can't connect her heel and my hip together. So it's the easiest thing in the world to just reach behind me like we did before, touch my own ribs, and fall right back down for our outside heel hooks from outside ashi, and go into the same mechanics we looked at before. Okay? So if my partner's leg is completely straight, that's usually your cue to go for a toe hold. If my partner's leg is bent and she's trying to invert the knee, like most people will have, you can go for a toe hold, then fall back down. Okay? You can also just catch the knee. And now from here, I just use that same cowboy drill. Let's rotate. We looked at before. I fall, and now we're ready to break. Okay? So we can use this tapo shiro position. If we can't expose, just from scissoring the legs, we can't expose belly up, however it is from outside ashi. We move from outside ashi to tapo shiro, and then back down to outside ashi once we have the heel exposed, or the toe hold exposed. All right, so now this is assuming my partner has legs that are unlocked. When you start moving to tapo shiro, your partner is going to think of two things. Number one, the back's right there. When they realize they can't take your back, they're like, oh shit, he's looking at my feet. My legs are exposed. Let me cross my ankles. Whether they cross the ankles or figure four the legs, it doesn't matter. They're giving you a gift. Whether their legs are crossed or they fully figure four, doesn't make a difference. From here, I recommend, it looks like there's a toe hold on this side because the legs are figure forward, but I recommend against this. Okay, because number one, you can't really fall to your right hip because your partner's leg configuration from here. In addition, there's no wedging around your partner's leg, so that if she pulls her knee out, now she's on your back and you have a toe hold, which has no ashigarami on the leg that you're attacking. And number three, your partner can start to attack your feet as well. She can lock a toe hold on you, and she can start to go into attacks, whether it be separating your feet, whether it be attacking you. She can start to give you some issues from here, okay? So I recommend against toe holds on this side because it's just too much danger associated with it, okay? But if she does cross the feet, if she does lock the ankles, she's basically giving you the second leg for free, okay? Now, you see a lot of people go to the tapo shiro position and they fall across this way for a knee bar. As we talked about before, if I go for a knee bar without double trouble or without a heel knee bar grip, without a lat knee bar, my partner can just internally rotate inside my legs and get herself free. So the second I see this, I have this bar across like so, we just go and we take a second grip over our partner's leg, and we just catch to control both of our partner's legs. And now we just fall across on top of the free leg. So her right leg now is trapped with my ashigarami, so I fall on top of her left leg. And I don't cross like this. If I cross like this, she can start scooping my leg, she can start pushing it and separating my feet. So I always cross my feet in a figure four below my partner's buttocks like so she has less access to my legs. And now we use this double trouble position to start working from here. When she goes to crush me from here and get on top, both legs are controlled. When she tries to stand up, spastically move away, explode out, there's just no way. Both two legs are controlled with my arms, and I have an ashigarami in place. So there's just no way my partner can move anywhere. So the second I see cross legs or a figure four, we just go in and we just catch both of our partner's legs. We fall across to the same side as the free leg. We just figure four our legs right here like so. And now we're ready to go into attacks on our partner from here with toe holds and knee bars. All right, so now we have double trouble. We have both of our partner's legs controlled, and we have body weight on one of our partner's legs. So not a great situation for our partner. So now we're going to look at a dilemma game between a toe hold and a knee bar. Or from here, we fall across the body, we lock up our legs. Now our partner is always going to have feet crossed. Okay, a lot of times you're even going to have feet fully figure forward, like so. Okay, whenever I see this, ultimately what I want to do is I want to attack a knee bar on my partner's trapped leg. All right, but this proves difficult sometimes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to weave. If my partner's legs are figure forward, then I just go right for the toe hold. If my partner's legs are crossed, then I just grab my partner's toes and I go in for a toe hold. And from here, we just weave our hand between the triangle, and now we can go in and we can easily lock up a strong toe hold on our partner. Now, the toe hold on our partner, there's no ashigarami in place controlling this leg. But because my partner can't go into a defensive roll, when she goes to roll from here, it's hard for her to go into a defensive roll because her opposite leg is controlled by the ashigarami. So I can get incredibly strong breaks with the toe hold by that toes to butt and heel to chin action, and I can go in and I can break my partner. This separates my partner's feet initially. My partner will always, even if she doesn't know what she's doing, will most of the time instinctually be like, oh, I have a free foot. Let me push on this guy's hands. So as she goes to push on my hands, I just catch my partner's foot. Now she has unlocked legs. And I just move it into a situation like so, where the shoelaces of her foot are connected to my front delt. And now I use a V-grip in place. Now I have two hands on her leg with a full extension. When she goes to extend her legs or goes to bend her legs from here, it's going to prove difficult. And now from here, you have a choice of either trying to go into a knee bar here. The problem is she can back heel with both legs. So when she goes to back heel with both legs, sometimes it gives you some problems. So I generally recommend wedging it in place with the left hand and then not moving her leg, but shooting your shoulder forward and getting the Achilles and the ankle behind your shoulder. Now I physically just place my fist right on my partner's calf muscle, and I pinch my elbow down. And now from here, I control this leg. Do not let go of this leg. If you let go of this leg, your partner can heist up and turn to 50-50. This is not what you want. The leg back through. I want weight over this leg, and I want the leg controlled. From here, we lock everything in. When she goes to back heel, it's a lat knee bar now. It's not going to happen. When she goes to rotate, she goes to spin, it's not going to happen. When she goes to heist into 50-50, second leg's controlled, it's not going to happen. And now from here, it's just a retraction of my right elbow as the hips come forward, the knees splay, and we get strong finishes for our lat knee bar. Okay? We can get incredibly strong finishes now, getting strong true breaks as the hips come forward. My hips come forward towards my partner, a strong back heel, and now from here, we bring the hips in, and we get strong finishes with a lat knee bar, okay? So from here, we fall, actually we can just stay here. We fall to this Tapo Shiro position. Her legs are crossed, okay? As we have the legs crossed, we go in and we figure four our legs. Now, if her legs are fully figure forward, then we just go in and we lock a toe hold right away. If her legs are crossed, then from here, we go in, we catch, we weave the hand through, we lock a toe hold. If my partner does nothing from here, she gets broken on the toe hold. So she has to push on my hands in order to clear the toe hold. The second she goes to push on the hands, we switch to the heel, and we just drag the shoelaces up to the front of our shoulder. We wedge the ankle in place. When she goes to move around from here, it's not going to be easy. And now we just wedge the foot in place, we shoot our shoulder forward, we cover our partner's ankle. Right from here, as we cover our partner's ankle, we have a strong scoop grip on our partner's ankle on the opposite side. We pinch the elbow through, and now from here, we go in, we splay the legs from here. If my partner starts turning in this direction, we pinch the knees together, like so. So if she starts turning and putting me in a belly down position, from here I pinch the knees and I back heel, and that gives me a stronger break. If she starts turning belly down in this direction, then from here, we splay the knees. And now, as I splay the knees, she goes to turn belly down. The splaying of the knees, when we're belly up, will give me a strong break. Okay? So if she twists and turns, you go belly down, knees pinch, just like with heel hooks. Belly down, knees pinch, belly up, knees splayed. And now from here, we can get strong double trouble knee bars. My partner really has no recourse, no ability to turn, no ability to slip the knee out. And we use the initial toe hold to create a dilemma where if she doesn't react to the toe hold, she gets broken. If she reacts with the toe hold and kicks the leg off, then she ends up in a lat knee bar, and she gets finished in the lat knee bar. All right, so now we move to this tapo shear position from an outside ashi. Okay, so we go and initially scissor the legs, we move up, and we're moving into a situation like so. Now let's say we don't want to go for knee bars, we don't want to go back to outside ashi, we want to go to cross ashi. The way that we do this is by from here, we just go in and we start stepping our legs up. Now my left leg from here is buried underneath my partner's body, so I can't extract my left leg the way that I want to. So from here we just take our right knee up and we start sitting up like so. Now, if at any point we see that we're not sitting on top of our partner's upper body yet, and the leg starts to come out, and maybe my wedging is not perfect, the second she goes to pull that leg free, we just go back in, and as the knee comes out, we just switch back to an Achilles, and then we fall back to our safety position, where now there's no back exposure. Okay, so just keep this in mind. But most of the time, because we have this wedge underneath our partner's knee, we can start to sit back on top of our partner like so, and we move into a situation here, where now we're sitting on top of our partner, there's no back exposure. Now, from this position, all we're going to look to do is to invert our left knee, so that our left knee goes from in between our partner's two legs to outside of our partner's hip. Okay? The way that we do this is you just take our left knee, or our right knee rather, and we slide it in towards our partner's center line. So as our right foot, or as our left foot rather, moves up towards our partner's center line, our right knee slides in towards our partner's center line. So we're more perpendicular now rather than parallel. And now from here, when I go to sit back, I make sure I don't sit back like this. You can hurt your knee like this. I tuck my foot underneath my own butt. So now when I fall back, most of the time we just go forward, we get to our partner's secondary leg, and now as we fall, we can figure 4 our legs, we can control both of our partner's legs with double trouble, and now we're in a full cross ashi, ready to work from here. Okay? So, we move into a tapo shear position. From here we start sitting up. We sit back onto our partner, and we move into a situation like so. We take our left foot towards our partner's center line, our right knee and our left heel connect. Now you have the choice of either going one leg, or usually, preferably, 2 legs. Now as we sit, our foot emerges on the other side, we lock a full figure of 4, now we're ready to go in, spin the leg, and go into cross ashi garami.